What's going on, everybody? And today we are going to show you how to install this F1 brake light. Alright, so this is going to be everything you need for this install. First off, you're going to want a multimeter. We'll leave a link in the description below. This is going to help you confirm the wires that you're going to be splicing into. And also, they're just really useful for a lot of other electrical projects. So we'll leave a link in the description below for something cheap but useful. Obviously, electrical tape, some double-sided tape, crimpers. You're going to want some, I believe this is like 14 gauge, but like anywhere between like 14 or 19 gauge wire, because you're going to need to extend the wires that come on the brake. You're also going to want these T-taps to splice into the wires that are already on the car, butt connectors, which you'll use to connect the wire to the wire on the brake light to extend it. And then also we have this E6000 silicone type glue. This is just going to be used for weatherproofing rather, the brake light, and also just for general purpose mounting if you need it, which is what I used it for. You may or may not need it for that purpose, but you'll definitely need it for some sort of weatherproofing of the brake light. Alright, so we're going to also install this eBay F1 brake light that I got. Basically what happens is it'll always be on, and then when you brake, it'll do like a flashing sequential flash. So $8, I'll leave the link down below. And so what we did is it came with this universal bracket, and I didn't like the way it mounts because it sticks out of the bumper when you mount it down here. So I went ahead and just kind of modified this bracket a little bit, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to mount it temporarily right now with some double-sided tape just to kind of get it on there, just to see how it looks, because obviously when the bumper gets painted, it's going to have to get removed anyway. Most likely double-sided tape will work for us. It's not a high-stress area, so it should be all right. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tape on here, mount it, and then we'll begin the wiring. So we're going to go ahead and test which of these wires controls what on the brake. So we're going to take this multimeter, and I think this was a black wire, so that's going to be the ground. So we're going to shove this black prong into the ground, and then with the lights on, my assistant, thank you, we'll go ahead and we're going to touch the positive side, and when we get a 12, like we are right here, then we know that that is going to be the running light, and then this other one is not going to show anything. And then when you push the brake, then you'll get a 12. So that's how you're going to know which wire controls which. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to test how the light looks. So I already kind of mocked it up so I wouldn't look like a fool on camera, but this wire is going to be our ground. This is going to be our brake sequential. So if I plug it into the brake terminal, you'll see how it flashes for brake. And then we're going to get the other one, which we know is our always on, our running light. And once we put that into the running light port, and then you'll see it runs, brake, and then you'll see it's sequential again. So we're going to go ahead and strip back the wires on the car so that we can go ahead and tap into them. All right, so this T-tap is what we're going to be using to tap into the stock wiring harness. Basically what you do is there's a little slot right here where you slot in the original wire from the car, and then you take the wire that you're actually wanting to tap into, and then you'll shove it through this hole, and then once both wires are in, you push down on this like metal clamp right here, and then that'll splice those two wires together. So let's go ahead and start wiring everything up to the stock harness. Alright, so now with the ground wire tapped, let's go ahead and make sure that the connection is still good. Alright, so here is the final product. Everything's spliced in. Obviously black is ground, and the running light is going to be the always solid on, and then when you brake, then you'll get your sequential flash. And we're running this through the bottom of the trunk like draining plug, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the rubber plug back in there as well, just to keep any moisture out. There's the wires all electrical taped up. I'm pretty sure there's a better mounting solution that someone will probably let me know of, but I mean, if you do have a better solution than this, better routing solution and mounting solution, I'd love to hear it. Just leave it down in the comments below. And now we'll go ahead and show you how everything looks when it's running and when you push the brakes and everything like that. Now, what I didn't show on camera, but I do want to talk about, is that this light is not weatherproof. Although I do have a friend that's running the same light on his car and has been through some thunderstorms, and it still works no problem. Probably still a good idea to just crack them open. There's just a couple of Phillips head screws in the back that you'll want to go ahead and open, and using that E6000 or some sort of silicone adhesive, you want to try to just weather strip the light portion right here, and then also the case outside, and also where the wires exit the unit. So just a quick recap, what you want to do is when you get your brake light, you're going to want to open it up. You're going to want to seal it with the silicone adhesive so that it's a little bit weatherproof, as well as where the wires exit the brake light. You're also going to want to kind of figure out a mounting solution that's going to work for you. They supply a universal bracket, but obviously you're going to have to get a little creative in how you mount it. You're also going to want to extend those wires because they're definitely too short. And then you want to use your multimeter to double check the wires that you'll be splicing into to make sure that you're splicing to the correct wires. And again, you're going to want to mount those all up and test and check, and that should be it. Pretty simple install overall. Just take your time. Should be good to go. All right, so that's going to do it for the F1 brake light install. I hope that was useful. I was kind of, again, learning while I was going, but hopefully it provided some information that was useful for you. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and just let us know. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.